Welcome to Members First, the Toastmasters District 69 podcast. Here is your host, District Director Barbara Nielsen.
Welcome everyone to our second Conversations with Members First. Today we've got a special guest. We've got Evie Gibbons. Evie's going to share with us some of the interesting things about her life and her Toastmasters experience. So welcome, Evie.
Hey, how you doing, Barbara?
I'm good, thanks, Evie. And you?
Yeah, I'm very good.
That's good. So first up, Evie, how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Well, I've been with Toastmasters for almost 10 years now. Off and on, I've gone traveling and done a number of things in between and taken time off. I've also worked different jobs and stuff, which meant that I had to take time off throughout the years. But I've been there for a very long time now, almost half my life, I think 10 years, something like that. So I've been there a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, well done. So why did you join and why do you stay?
Well, why I joined originally is because my mother has been in Toastmasters for something close to 20 years or more. I don't know how. She's been there a long time, and I wasn't very good in school at a lot of academic things, but I was very good at oral presentations. And my mum always thought that I would like Toastmasters. So when I was of age, she got me to come along to check out a meeting. And I think my very first meeting I played played the role of timekeeper. And after that, I started to really fall in love with the process. And I really enjoyed being able to speak and it not be a classroom environment, a school environment was good. And then after that, what ended up keeping me there was that I realized that the more that I did Toastmasters, the more confident I felt in my life, the more excited I was to research different topics that enabled me to speak better. I absolutely fell in love with it from that point forward. And my mum and I like to compete on who's the better speaker in the club now. So it's good.
Oh, well done. That's a good challenge, isn't it? Trying to beat your mum.
Yeah, well, that's good luck to me.
Okay, now I believe you've done a lot of traveling. Would you like to share some of your best travel experiences?
Oh boy. Well, I've traveled a lot since about the age of 18. When I was 18, I went to France and I was there for a long time and I was learning French. And the interesting thing about language is that when I was 18, I think it's quite easy, but it's actually quite challenging, the subtle differences between certain words in French. Latin languages are challenging, and this is probably one of the more embarrassing stories, actually, but I will tell it anyway. When I was in France, I stayed with a local person in a rural area, so not many people spoke English, and speaking English was very taboo anyway. The French like it when you speak French predominantly, and while I was there, I was babysitting one night, a friend's little one, and I was teaching the little one English. So I was speaking just in English as a way of teaching this little toddler some basic English. And as I would point things out, like the butterfly, I'd say, that's a butterfly. And it would tell me, and the little one would tell me what that was in French. Anyway, later on that evening, the mother comes home, she's chatting to me, very broken language, sort of mostly what we're talking is through body language. And there's a fly in the house and it's flying around and it's getting in the little one's face. And I pointed at the baby and I said, mosh. Now, mosh means what I thought was fly, but in actual fact, mosh means ugly. So I was pointing at this poor little one and calling the baby ugly, and the mother was not very happy with me. Mush and mosh, so it's mush is a fly and mosh is ugly, but I was very close, and I nearly got into a bit of a situation calling this woman's baby ugly. But yeah, another experience I had was Brazil. I went to Brazil when I was 22, and it's where originally my father is from, and my dad's South American. And when I was in Brazil, I stayed also with a local person, a friend of mine who's Brazilian, and we stayed in an area that was reasonably safe, but right on the edge of a favela. And a favela, if anyone doesn't know, is kind of like a complex slum. It can be quite dangerous. There's a lot of drugs and cartel involved, and it's very taboo to go into a favela. But I wanted to go, and I got my friend to take me, just me and her, all the way up through the favela. I was 22 and I was terrified. I was so scared. She told me, don't speak at all, don't speak any English, and if you're going to say anything, speak in Portuguese. But I would advise not saying anything, because if they know that you're a gringa, they might take advantage of you up there. So I left my wallet at home, left my phone, nothing. I had nothing on me, and I just went. And it was the most liberating experience of my life. I was so scared. I didn't know where I was, and we're walking through all these labyrinths. It was amazing. Yeah, I love traveling, definitely.
Wow, that's incredible, those stories. And at that age, goodness. Now that you've settled back in Brisbane, what do you do for a living? And how has Toastmasters helped you with your career?
Well, Toastmasters has been a huge help to my career, because I actually am a public speaking specialist now. So I help people speak authentically and effectively in any situation, which is similar to what Toastmasters does. And Toastmasters has helped me immensely with the presenting in a public place. Managing nerves has been a really big thing, because Toastmasters facilitated this really safe environment that still to this day helps me further develop my skills and keep me calm under pressure. And I think that's the big thing with Toastmasters, is that it's helped me stay cool when under the pump, because your heart rate's going so fast, and you've got all the things you've got to remember, and in a weird way, there's a bit of a performing arts element to public speaking. So keeping your cool whilst also being an effective communicator is, 10 years has been a phenomenal journey with Toastmasters, and helped immensely with me building my Positive Pathways business, which I think you can see the logo here. But so when it comes to sort of my business, I think that Toastmasters has helped me immensely. And the reason I keep going is because you can always get better. And communication is one of these things that if you stop for long periods of time, it actually goes backwards. So I need to keep practicing my communication skills every day, every week in some form for me to grow and sustain where I am. So yeah, that's a big deal.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you so much. Now, I'm interested to hear about your volunteering and advocacy work that you do in Brisbane. So could you tell us a bit more about that important part of your life?
Well, a lot of the volunteer stuff that I've done has been surrounding the LGBTIQ plus community. And I know that Toastmasters here in Brisbane, there's a Pride Toastmasters, which sort of is a more inclusive club. Not that most Toastmasters clubs are really inclusive usually, but there is, special ones that you can go to feel more incorporated. I volunteered a number of years back at Queensland AIDS Council, which is a facility that sort of looks out for the community, the queer community here in Brisbane, and provides services such as counselling, support groups, ways of sort of accessing facilities that might be much needed for people who are going through hard times. And when I was in my teenage years, I had a really hard time, and I reached out to that community as a way of seeking support. And then in my early 20s, I wanted to give back to my community. So I did a year volunteering as an LGBTIQ plus seniors visiting partner. So what I would do is I'd hang out with LGBT seniors, we'd go for coffee, and we'd go to movies, and it was great. That's a big part of what I used to do, which led me to 4ZZZ, which I think you're going to ask me about now.
Yeah, go on with that. Yeah.
So I went into 4ZZZ because I wanted to do something with my voice. I started at Quack down in New Farm here in Brisbane, and then I went in there one day and I went, I have this amazing voice. I know that I can talk and compel people and inspire others, and I want to do something with it. Help me. And so the director of Quack at the time said, okay, calm down. We'll find a place for you. And she pointed me towards 4ZZZ, which is 102.1 FM in Brisbane here, which is a community radio. And that's when I started my journey on radio, which was huge for me. I was so elated to be on the airways and to be on such a big scale. And that was about 5 years ago I started that. So, and then over time, I've ended up becoming the executive producer of my own show.
Oh, wow.
So now I produce my own show every week, every Wednesday here in Brisbane at 6:00. It's called Z Games, and it facilitates all the communication skills that I've been learning over the years. But it's very different. It's not the same as public speaking. It's only auditory entertainment. So the big thing with only auditory entertainment is that there always has to be sound. Whereas in public speaking, we've learned to take pauses and make emphasis. Well, a really long pause on the airways means people will change the station because they think you've cut off. So my speaking style has become a lot faster. I use a lot more filler words now because filler words are considered good on the airways. So it's been an interesting challenge adapting to radio life as well as juggling public speaking life and how they both apply in different ways. And since COVID hit, I've been now learning a more refined way of using Zoom and how to present online in a virtual way. So there's lots of different styles of communications that I've been trying to master over the years. So it's been good.
Well, thank you. You're very, very multi-talented and you're using those skills to a good end.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
Now, I like to think that there's a Toastmasters club to suit everyone. What do you think about that?
Definitely, 110% agree. There is a Toastmasters for everyone, and the great thing is because it's international, there's a Toastmasters anywhere as well. It's not just for anyone; it's everywhere. The great thing about Toastmasters being for everyone is that I've always found a very diverse community. The one that I have here in Brisbane has always been people from everywhere in the world. And I think Toastmasters, especially in Australia, really highlights the multiculturalism that we have in this country. And it's a great way of interacting with people and hearing their stories. And I think the big thing with all my traveling, why I joined Toastmasters and the business that I run is because I want to connect with people. And connecting with people and hearing their stories gives me the ammunition to carry those stories and formulate new ways of expressing myself and helping others express themselves. So yeah, there is a Toastmasters for everyone because there is always someone there who wants to listen to what you've got to say and wants to help you say it the best way you can.
Yeah, and COVID has actually given us an opportunity to connect more with other clubs because so many meetings are now online. And I know there's people who set themselves targets of visiting one club at least on every continent. So yeah, where there's adversity, that you can look for positives as well.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Evie. It's been absolute delight and refreshing to hear your stories and to meet you. And I'm sure that our viewers will be inspired by your words today too. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Barbara. It's lovely to meet you too.
Thank you for tuning in to Members First. We hope you enjoyed the show and will return again in the future. Bye for now.